All right, on today's episode, we have a CGC unboxing, so stay tuned as we dive into that realm. All right, so how you doing, Rex?
Good, you?
I'm good, good. So got my comics back while I was on vacation. By the way, I had to, obviously I knew I was going to have to check them to see if anything was broken or damaged because of that issue.
It's the same sort of thing you went through.
So Dad calls me up while I'm on vacation. Okay. He said, "Your comics are back. I've already opened them. Here's your grades." He was just as excited as I was. So one of the things that I will get to when we get to that book, which is in here, which is Ghost Rider #1. He kind of gave me the backstory of that book. So we'll get to that when we get there. But so the first book is some Silver Age goodness from '67, Superman, sorry.
What?
Superman 199. So it did come back as a 3.0.
Right.
White pages, which is good. It had a lot of chipping around the edge. It had it had lost a lot of color around the spine. I knew it was going to be a low grade.
Yeah. Well, you said it's from your grandfather's collection.
Yes.
And he didn't bag and board them?
He didn't really. He did some. He just didn't. He didn't store them in the best condition, and so I felt it shows, and I felt the need to preserve them. That's a lot of reasons why I've sent these books off. For a 1967 book, I mean, you look at the cover. The cover presents pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very colorful. Still, you can tell the issues when you're up close examining it. But overall, I mean, it's a solid book. It does take a hit value wise because it is a 3.0 versus a 9.6 or a 9.8. But to find a 9.6 or a 9.8 in that book, it's very rare.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just because of the age. I mean, you think about it, most kids back then weren't saving their comics because they thought they were going to be worth something. Most kids roll them up, put them in your back pocket with you riding your bike. I mean, my dad kind of told me, some of these books, they've been read multiple times by multiple of the kids, because my dad has like 4 brothers and a sister, so they've been read by.
So well used.
Well used, yes, well used.
So they definitely got their
12 cents.
12 cents? Jeez.
Yeah, 12 cents worth. Can you believe that it was 12 cents back then?
Now you couldn't,
you couldn't get the front page for 12 cents.
You couldn't even color one of the Flash's armbands for 12 cents.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But it's a solid book. It is the first race between Superman and Flash, which is, it's a good book. I mean, it does have a lot of sentimental value for me. And most of these do. Yeah. I think the Batman Adventures 12 is the only one that didn't really have sentimental value. It had more of hey, this is going to get a high grade. I'm going to be able to get some other books for my collection type. All right, so the next, I opted to have the custom label done. So CGC gives you an option to have a custom label done. With this one, I decided to have the custom Silver Surfer custom label put on, which is kind of cool. It's the Silver Surfer #14 from 1970. It got a grade of 4.0. Now it did get white to off-white pages.
Where did you say that?
Well,
Oh, they don't put it on the back of the custom one?
Normally they put it on the back, so they didn't on this one.
That's always my cheat sheet with these.
They didn't on this one, but they put it up in the corner, off-white to white pages. But they also did notate on it, if you look here, that it has a Spider-Man appearance. A lot of collectors want this book because Spider-Man is on the cover. Matter of fact, we went to a flea market today, and one of the guys asked me, I showed him the book, and he asked me, why didn't you have Spider-Man put on as your custom label? I want to be different. Most people probably would have put Spider-Man. He's more popular.
Right.
But, the Silver Surfer, in my opinion, is an underutilized character in the MCU.
Well, in MCU, but I mean in comic history, he was pretty solid.
No, yeah, in comic history, he's pretty solid. But, you think about the movies that they've done for him, they've not really done him any justice. Of course, yeah, and of course they really haven't done the Fantastic Four any justice up until, the new Doctor Strange movie. One of them Reed Richards makes an appearance. So spoiler alert. But, I think that's an underutilized group of characters, that the MCU really could do something with. So, but it's a solid book. I loved it because of the cover, because one, it was Silver Surfer, but two, because it had Spider-Man on the cover. And, I've not really seen a whole lot with Silver Surfer and Spider-Man together. So I thought it was an interesting book. It does have some value, not much, but, again, more sentimental value than anything.
Right.
Plus, it preserved it. I think when you put it on display, I think it displays solid.
Well, yeah, I think so too. Are you eventually going to design a display for your?
No, actually, I'm going to buy some of the displays from Crafty Comics.
Oh, okay.
The company that we done the review for.
Gotcha.
They actually have one that is will protect from UV lighting, so I can display it wherever I want. The last one is, it got a 4.5 off-white to white pages. It is Ghost Rider #1. It is not the first appearance of Ghost Rider, but it is the first standalone. This book actually came back at a 4.5. I'm very happy with that. With that grade. So the interesting thing is, Dad was telling me this. So Dad can actually tell me.
I was just looking at that. Is that cracked or?
No, that's
the pouch thing.
Yeah. So Dad was actually telling me about. This is actually one of his books that ended up in my grandfather's collection.
Does he want it back?
No, actually he doesn't. He'll get it over my dead body. It's mine. He knows that. He's okay with it. So he actually shared how he got that. He actually got that book in El Paso, I think. And that book has traveled to El Paso, Indiana, Florida. I mean, this book has seen some travel.
And for it to grade that.
For it to grade at a 4.5 is actually really good for the amount of traveling it's seen. So, and Dad wanted me to share the story, so I shared the story. And it really is an interesting story to kind of see where it come from. And it ended, it's kind of surreal because it's something my dad had when he was young. And now it's in my possession, so that's pretty cool. And I love that book. Ghost Rider is one of those characters that I love. He's not my favorite when it comes to the characters. I think I don't think there's any secret. My favorite character is Daredevil. Love the series. just something about Matt Murdock, you know, and his character, you know, the fact that he's blind and he still can kick butt, you know.
And all this time I thought it was Howard the Duck.
I do love Howard the Duck. And I'm sitting on a gold mine of Howard the Duck, so let's not forget that.
Contributed to that.
You did. And
you didn't bring that or show that off or post it.
You know, I didn't, but you know, I did get a wonderful birthday gift from you. It was Howard the Duck Annual 1. I do love the book. It is up on display at the house. It is the only graded comic that is on display at the house. And it's on display because you got it for me. So it is the only one on display currently. But, you know, overall, CGC, I'm happy with their service. I know that a bunch of people have had issues lately with the cases coming to them cracked. I think one of the other issues that people have had is just the inconsistency of grading.
So do they not have like a specific staff trained? Does it matter like who you get? Say like Jim over here grades and like leans towards 8s and up, while Jeff over here was like 7s and 6s.
So one of the things is the inconsistency in grading, I think, was brought on because of COVID. I think it was, they had gotten so far backlogged that it was taking people literally 10, 12 months to get books back that should only be taking 3 months.
What was your turnaround on these?
I sent them off at the end of February, so March, April, end of April. So, I mean, and we're into May, so, I mean, realistically, my turnover was not bad on these, but the thing is they've opened back up, they've got more people back at work, so they've actually managed to, realistically, they've managed to cut down their wait time.
So they've opened back up. They've got everybody back in the building working. Well,
yeah. So literally, you know, let's use the books that I had, the books that I showed off in the first CGC video. Those took like 20 business days to get back or something like that.
Okay.
Now they're down to like, I think the last time I checked, it was 10 business days.
That's
reputable. So yeah, so they've cut the time down, and I think on their economy, which is what these would have been sent out as, I think they are down to. I want to say they are down to 2 to 3 months, 60 to 90 days, somewhere in there.
That's a long time, though.
It is a long time, but it's a long process because they go through, and I got photos of these, but you know, I did get the custom label, which takes extra. Yeah. That I did get that. That's extra. That takes a little bit longer. That tax on time. The imaging, which they take pictures, they give you detailed images, high resolution images of the front and the back, and they send those to your email address. I paid extra for that so that I would have them, you know, so if I wanted to show them off to somebody, you know, without taking them with me, I have the pictures, you know.
Okay, well I guess that makes sense. So if you're like at a convention or something.
Yeah, I can say, hey, yeah, here's my Ghost Rider #1. It came back at a 4.5, you know.
Would you like to buy it?
No.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't sell that, but you.
I wouldn't sell this one, but yeah, I mean that's kind of why I did it, because of the Batman Adventures 12. I used those pictures to put up on eBay, you know. So.
Oh, you've got it listed?
I do have it listed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to let me know how that goes.
I will definitely let you know how that goes, because you know me, I'm searching for the next Grail. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm getting rid of it for, is, you know, is to fund my grading service, and to also get 2 key Daredevil issues
Gotcha.
that I'm looking at that I have found, and I'm not going to say where I found them or anything like that because I don't want no one going and grabbing them because they were kind of not a bad deal.
Gotcha.
But you know, but that's the fun of the hunt. I mean, you kind of know how that goes with your Transformers. I mean, you
somewhat. I mean, I'm caught up now, so I mean, there's no, I don't know.
But you're always looking for Gen 1.
Well, yeah, the like GG one, like the 1980s ones are always good. I've not like started back in those. I've switched over to Masterpiece, but that's neither here nor there. But I get what you're saying, like the hunt and all that.
The thrill of the hunt is what they say. And trust me, I have found, listen, that when I was going through my grandfather's collection, that's one of the things that I will tell everybody. You know, it was nice to see that we had a lot of the same taste.
Right.
You know, because we never talked, you know, we talked a little bit about comics, and he got me into comics.
Didn't have like an opportunity. I mean, you've been busy.
No, and that's the thing. You know, you know, one thing you do stay busy as an adult, but you know, we never really got to talk about comics as much as when I was growing up. He showed me, you know, his comic collection, and I got to read some of them, and you know, and that's where I developed a love for the comics. But I mean, it was kind of interesting because, like, you know, I've said this, you know, I had like 1 through 20 of Howard the Duck, and he had like 1 through 18 or something like that, and he was missing like issue 12.
Right.
So it was kind of nice to see that our taste in comics were, you know,
like similar. I gotcha.
And so I will say that, you know, I love collecting, I love grading, I love sending them out to get them graded to preserve, you know, kind of his memory. To me, that's what this is. I mean, yeah, will I probably sell these eventually because, you know, I don't have any kids right now, but, you know, if I don't have any kids, I want somebody else to enjoy these, you know, like I enjoyed them. You know, they get to at least look at the artwork and enjoy that part. They can, you know, most comics you can get a digital copy now. So, I mean, that's why I preserve them. But, you know,
makes sense.
One of the things that I will say, I am going to probably send out more books. We'll go over prices and stuff probably again on a future video, and actually just go over the service and talk about the service, because there are some things that, you know, I wish I'd known beforehand, and there's so much information out there. I think sometimes we forget that, you know, there's different services also. So, and there's you know, with CGC you do have to have a membership. There's another company out there that you don't, and they're not as reputable, but you know, from some of the reviews I've seen of them, I'm thinking about sending like a couple books that I know for a fact that I'm never going to get rid of to them, just to see like the turnaround and stuff.
Interesting. So you'd rather gamble on ones you're going to keep,
ones that I'm going to keep versus ones that I'm investing in that one day I will probably sell.
Makes sense.
And only because CGC is the most reputable out of all the companies. They've been around the longest. They are basically, if it's not a CGC blue label or gold label, and the gold label is the signature series where they've actually witnessed the artist signing it.
And they have to do that too.
And they have to do that like in front of them for them to give you that grade. Otherwise it gets a green label, which means there's writing on the cover and they can't verify it because they didn't see it. Now CBCS, they'll actually verify the signature and actually still give you the gold as long as the signature matches up. I have some Stan Lee signed comics you know.
I have something of his.
So,
I don't know.
you know, maybe one day, one of our future videos, I'll pull out some stuff from my personal collection and kind of show it off to you and get your take on it. So, what was your favorite book out of all of them? I mean,
look-wise, the Silver Surfer one, of course. Well, you know me, I'm not huge into DC, so that one, the DC one's not so much of interest to me. But yeah, probably that one.
I think so too. I think the Silver Surfer is probably my favorite cover out of the three that's here. I do love the Ghost Rider, but that's not actually my favorite Ghost Rider cover. I think one of my favorite Ghost Rider covers.
Ghost Rider in the last?
Yes, so it was Marvel Spotlight number 5. It was actually a Marvel Spotlight. It's not considered a Ghost Rider comic because they actually do, on the Marvel Spotlight, they actually spotlight different characters. Yeah, so I have Marvel Spotlight number 27 that I got to send out, which is the first standalone appearance of Moon Knight.
Cool.
So, but anyway, comment below which one of these three is your favorite, because we'd like to know. And if you have any questions about CGC or their services, by all means, you can message me through the comments, and I will always answer our fans. I always do. But definitely comment and tell us which one of the covers that you like the most. And you know, as always, we want you to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you get notified of our videos. I'm waiting for the comments on Taco Bell.
I'm staying out of this one.
Okay, so he's staying out of it. But
they brought Mexican pizza back. Sorry.
Oh yes, I know. I've seen that.
I've heard that it's not as good. I'm not in until they bring the double-decker taco.
Why Taco Bell? Why bring something back and not make it as good? Oh well. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification.
Get a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell. and cry with us.
And cry with us. But like, subscribe, and definitely hit that bell notification.
Brought this on yourself.
And as always, keep diving into that realm of nerdiness that we absolutely love, and we'll see you next time.